Welcome back to part 2 of What If Dragon Ball. Actually, to make it short, I was going to call it What If Lewis was in Dragon Ball. I was going to say that from now on, but yeah, you know what I mean. So anyway, in the last part, Lewis has landed on planet Namek, and he was training there, learning every basic stuff that a child will learn. And for a while, some of the Menekinims will even grow stronger too, where some of them will produce some eggs. Well, I will say that now because I forgot to mention that. So let's talk about things that I forgot to mention. So I forgot to mention that since Lewis was training with some of the strong Manekins too, with some of the Manekins are going stronger too. We're just making new species, even creating like some mechanical ones too, that could able to build ships. Which that's how that Lewis ship is able to build and go and fly around the world. But he chose to decide to stay on Earth since he found one planet that was peculiarly nice and peaceful. So he decided to stay here. Anyway, now I got that covered away, we could continue this what if. So Cindy showed Lewis the Mark Dojo, which Mark will greet them. However, his face will turn to shock when sensing Lewis' power. His power is way beyond his. At first, he thought he was a villain, but after sensing his ki even more, he realized he's not a bad person. He has good intention, and he sensed pure heart in him. So he did trust him. His shocked face turned to a serious face. So he asked Cindy who was this new friend of hers, which she would introduce Lewis to Mark. Mark would greet the child, saying that welcome to his dojo, where he could learn any other new techniques. And he is impressed and surprised at how polite this child is, which Lewis is willing to train with him. However, he does know that he's way beyond stronger than him, and at this point he can't even spar with him, but at least he could teach him other new techniques he could learn, which Lewis agrees to. So at this point, the three of them would train for at least a few days, and sometimes Cindy will show Lewis around the world. Of course, Lewis does confess that he's not human right off the bat, saying that he's a different race or species. Of course, Lewis will have his say and tail, and the reason why he never turned the grade up on planet Namek is because Namek has no moon, so yeah. But the reason why I say he keeps the tail because Guru said that he should keep the tail since the tail has great potential in him and he will grow faster and stronger. And if he does learn to go to different planets, he did tell Lewis that he should learn to control his gradient form if he ever does transforms. So Lewis does avoid at nighttime when Cindy tried to convince him to go to a beautiful place where at nighttime there would be beautiful stars, but he says not to, since he explains that he would transform when he looked at the full moon. She doesn't understand his race, but understands slightly once she can know more and more about him. It's never really changed about this part until the Red Ribbon Army started. When the Red Ribbon Army came to their village, they tried to threaten the people, thinking they have Dragon Balls, until Mark is able to beat them out, and they retreated. Once looking at the symbol they drop, they know it's the Red Ribbon Army. He looks at Lewis, thinking that this might be his first task, including Cindy. He decided to tell the two children, saying that this might be their first task. They should destroy the Red Ribbon Army, like disassemble them, since they're evil people who want to take over the world, and then threatening them to find these Dragon Balls objects. They don't know what the Dragon Balls are, but whatever they are, they're going to use it for something, and to make sure they're not going to get their hands on it. So Lewis and Cindy will be happy accepting this new adventure they'll have. So they will travel around the world fighting a bunch of Red Ribbon Army's soldiers until they come across with General Blue, which after he just escaped from Goku's battle, he's a little worn out. He is smirking. He thinking that he could take these children on. So he attacks them. However, he stopped his attack once realizing this other child have a tail. It reminds him of Goku, which it does anger him. Which, however, sadly for Blue, he'd been one shot by Lewis without even trying. So General Blue is knocked out cold with ease, which also means that he gets to survive. So they continue on, which Blue is going to stay unconscious underground for a while. They both find the Red Army base, but they saw that someone is attacking their base. They went to run in. They saw a spiky hair man kid destroying and killing everyone. The two were shocked that this kid was going on a rampage, a killing rampage. They tried to stop him. However, you already know who this kid is. It's Goku. Goku, thinking they're part of the Red Army, he begins attacking him, which Lewis defends Cindy, and the two kids will fight off. Goku's actually surprised that this kid also have a tail like him. Including Lewis noticed that too, which Lewis thinking himself another Saiyan. Well, he might accidentally say it out loud, which Goku thinks he says salad or something. So the two attack, but Lewis will go slightly powered up a little bit, is able to knock out the kid, which Lewis will handle the Red Army himself and begin to attack everyone, but not kill them, just knock them out cold. So he will rather get them arrested instead of killed. So every Red Army are eventually knocked out. Of course, General Red will still get killed by General Black or Commander Red, and he would attempt to fight each other, but ultimately be defeated with much ease with 1 second. And sadly, the explosion, it does kills him when his robot explodes, which Lewis is upset by this, a little mad that he couldn't save him. But in the end, they're able to call the cops, and every single Red Army soldier has been arrested. Well, except for one singular doctor. But that's another part of the story. Once Goku wakes up, he asks them who they are, when Cindy introduces himself, and Lewis introduces himself as well. And he tells Goku that how he ended up on Earth, which Goku's confused. Who was born here? Lewis is a bit confused himself that he doesn't even know who he is. Goku says that he wants to know that he's another monkey boy, which Lewis just confused, saying that no, he's a Saiyan, and he's a Saiyan too. Of course, Goku doesn't believe that, which Lewis explains who Goku really is, which Goku will be shocked, but mostly it just makes sense. They both have the same tails and stuff. The three kids will walk and talk about stuff, which Lewis will explain to Goku that what their Saiyans are. They're like type of rampaging monkeys that attack everyone, but he thought he's the only pure-hearted Saiyan on Earth, or until he met Goku, which he will also explains that any Saiyans will have that near experience and come back with full health against Senkai boost, which leads them to getting stronger, which Goku will know about Senkai boost now, and he will try to pursue that powered up, but he don't want to go crazy with it. As for Cindy, she is pretty interested in these Saiyans person. She wished to herself that she could be a Saiyan someday, but hey, she literally tried to catch up to them, which she plans to do, now more motivated to train ever. But of course, she doesn't want to be a fighter. She does want to be a nurse someday, but she will try to pursue that both. So after they say goodbye to Goku, they went back to the village, which Mark heard the news that the Red Army are now arrested, and he's proud of his students, and they will celebrate with a feast. So after they finish the restaurant, and a few days later, they will hear about the tournament, which Mark will give them a special gift. They will allow the kids to go to the tournament, which are pretty thrilled to hear. So they went to the tournament, and already this is a tournament where Tambourine will come. So I would say that Num and the other purple girl will be replaced by Lewis and Cindy. So a few matches will play the same until Lewis and Cindy have to end up fighting each other, and you obviously know who wins, since Lewis is so much stronger, since his power level is really high, like around 1000, but when Raphael form is even higher than Frieza's first form. And since he's getting slightly stronger, he might be stronger than Frieza himself if he keeps this training up. Of course, Goku's more motivated in Senkai boost. He did train even harder, which makes him way above than originally. And because of that, Krillin and wants to get stronger too, more motivated as well. Goku at this point would tell everyone who he really was, since he met someone similar to him, And it turns out they're just a bunch of Saiyans, which everyone is shocked by this, but it does make sense. Roshi confirmed this. Lewis and Cindy will fly, but Lewis win ultimately, and the whole tournament not really worth covering since Lewis is gonna body everyone since he's the legendary Super Saiyan. And even that, his base form is more than enough, and it's not really necessary. At this point, adding him with a power of 1,000 is just really overpowered and just overkill for everyone. So yeah, this might be too easy. So, but still, I don't want to keep everyone out of the shadows. We still want to keep them going. So Lewis becomes the champion. Everyone celebrates, which Goku will introduce his friends to Lewis, and Cindy and Mark will introduce themselves to them, and they'll all get to know each other and become friends. Goku left his stuff, which Krillin wants to come to get it. And as we all know, Krillin gets killed by Tambourine. Despite him being a little bit stronger than Canon, he will still ultimately get killed, which this enraged Goku wants to find the killer, which everyone tried to find him, but Master Roshi checks the symbol. He realized that King Piccolo has returned. However, in this version, he isn't that worried, since he actually sent Mark and Lewis and Cindy power level. And to be clear, those three are way above the sea fighters, including Goku himself. So, if the three of them are the last hope to defeat King Piccolo, if not the only three person who could take him down. Unless Goku gets stronger and Master Roshi successfully to the Mafuba, but he's not going to plan on doing that anytime soon. But he does tell the three to stop King Piccolo. Of course, Mark does know who King Piccolo is since he heard stories about him. As for Sidney and Lewis, they have no idea who they are, which Roshi will explain the whole story. Of course, the two will be motivated to stop Piccolo. So they will look for him, preventing him to gather the Dragon Balls. And it wasn't long to find him. King Piccolo already had 6, but not the last one. Mark decided that he wants to fight him since the two kids already have their fun. And it's been such a long time since he fight any worthy opponents. So he decided he's going to attack King Piccolo first. At first, he was have a slight advantage, but until King Piccolo powered up a little further, proving he's more powerful than he thought he was. However, Mark's still confident he could beat him. He decided he's going to show the kids, his students, a new technique that they shall learn in the near future. His fist went to flames. He jumped in the air, and he powered up a Dragon Blast. He fires it at King Piccolo, which the blast is the shape of a dragon. King Piccolo is shocked by this, and he couldn't able to dodge in time. The dragon image flame blast pierced through Piccolo's chest, but before he dies, he spit out an egg, telling his son to revenge him, as he was dead. Which Mark thought it was too easy. Of course, Piccolo's kids are shocked that their master has been killed, or aka their father has been killed this easily. They would try to get the Dragon Balls to revive them, however, they were swiftly killed by Cindy. Cindy does have to kill them since they're just too dangerous to this world. So yeah, King Piccolo arc was avoided. And because of that, someone did came to them, which is Kami. Of course, Goku comes along too. Kami and Piccolo and Mr. Popo, thank them for defeating King Piccolo. However, since King Piccolo has spit on an egg, he's going to be reincarnated as Piccolo Jr. So he asked them to train with him. However, he only allowed 2 or 3 students to come. Mark doesn't want to come since he's like, it's fine. Since Kami wants to only allow 3 students. So Mark declines the offer, saying he would rather train on his own. However, the only 3 people that accepted is Lewis, Cindy, and Goku. Which Kami will accept them, and they would take the 3 of them to the lookout to prepare for themselves to train against Piccolo Jr. So yeah, this is where I leave this part off. However, this is the next part I'm making right now, so prepare for that. Anyway, thanks for watching. Goodbye.